Hello, my name is Tess Smith, and I am doing a presentation for English 114. I did an interview with James Sessions, which is a director for Middle Creek Creative School. She has been a director for 16 years, so she has had a lot of experience. I give you a little background on myself. I go to Central Carolina, and I'm pursuing early childhood education. So I wanted to do an interview with Jane Sessions because she has a lot of experience in early childhood, the good and the bad, and it's been 16 years. Um, First, I asked her what got her into this career, who really inspired her. And she actually told me that her mother did, that her mother was a teacher for years, and she used to go in with her as a little girl. And she, after that, she always wanted to be a teacher, always wanted to be a director. She always wanted to be. And so that really was her inspiration. Also, um, her education. I asked her, that was my next question, her education. She actually went for her master's. Um, I actually asked her, what's the best education? How high should you go to be in early childhood? And she actually told me you should go the highest possible. She said you should go to workshops, all that. She said, even though you are high up in your education, you still should go to workshops because a lot of things change over weeks, months, and years. So that's what she said about that. I also asked her what kind of leader is she. There's different types of leaders. Different kind of ways you can be in early childhood. And she told me that she was a transformational leader, which is somebody that inspires, encourages. When her employees or even the children come in, she, if somebody's looking down, she always inspires. Okay, what's going on? I want you to have a better day. Let's talk about this. She always wants to transform somebody's life. Always want to be there, for that person, that the employee, or the children. And I really love that about her. Also, I asked her what was her concern for early childhood education. And she told me her concern was the money factor, how they are really taking a lot of money out of daycares and schools, and it's really hurting the children. It's hurting the children, the teachers, and the parents, because the children they're suffering. They're suffering. Some children don't have the supplies they need, the books, and some teachers are actually coming out their pockets for this stuff. And she said that she has experienced that she has actually taken money out of her pocket to supply, the daycare that she owns, for the company. So that was her concern. And she said that they really need to, the government, they really need to, come back and focus on the children, because the children is our future. We say that, but we are constantly taking, money out of, education. So that was Miss Jane's concern. The next one was, I asked her what was her hardest time in the education department. What was her hardest situation? She told me that over the weekend she got a phone call that one of the children at her daycare actually got in a car accident and they passed away. And she said that was the hardest moment in her entire life. She was so attached to the child, so attached to the family, and it was just hard. And she said maybe like 3 months later after the tragic accident, the family actually donated a playground. They donated a playground in his honor. So I thought that was so wonderful. And also, I asked her a good moment. What was a good moment? She said, a child and a parent, that came up to our office just smiling, and they said, could we give you something? That's how she said. She said, could we give you something? And the mom came and she presented her with an edible arrangement. And it wasn't a birthday, it wasn't a celebration, it was a just because. And I thought that was just so wonderful. The next thing that I wanted to tell you about that Miss Jane told me was the salary. I know everybody hear about education is not a good, I guess, place where you get a lot of money. That's what she was saying. But she said you can go from the lowest of lowest to the highest of highest in the education department. You could work at daycares, the rec centers, and then you can jump up and be, you can be a director. Then you can, work for corporate and be the corporate. And in education, you don't have to just work in schools. You have daycares, you have hospitals, you can do in-home. And I learned so much from her. It's not just being, at a school. You can go so many places, it's just so many things you can do with working with children. And that just made me so excited, hearing that from her. And so with this interview, I learned so much. I learned so much from Miss Jane, and it made me even more confident that this is what I want to do. Early childhood education is my passion, and I loved it. So I thank you guys for listening to my presentation, and I hope you learned a lot. All right, thank you. Bye-bye.